Keynotes for today. We began with Exodus chapter 15. The Israelites sing a song of triumph, praising God for delivering them. Miriam, Moses' sister, leads the women in dancing and singing. So this chapter showcases the song of Moses as the first record song in the Bible. The song emphasizes God's power over creation and nations. Miriam's response demonstrates spontaneous worship. Miriam's worship we see is a model for spontaneous, spirit-led praise. We also see women play a significant role in biblical worship and leadership. So the corporate celebration strengthens community and faith when we come together in praise and worship. And Miriam was a big role model for all of us. Even today, the women on call are also invited to be like Miriam. So the people grumble when they find the water at Mara bitter. So God shows Moses a tree that makes the water sweet. Mara is again the first recorded test of Israel's obedience. Mara prepares Israel for the covenant at Sinai, emphasizing obedience. Exodus chapter 16, we see about manna and quail. As the Israelites continue through the wilderness, they grumble due to hunger. God responds by providing them with manna, a bread-like substance, and quail. Even in the midst of despair and complaint, His grace abounds, showing us His miraculous power. Moses instructs them to gather only what they need for each day, and on the sixth day they should gather enough for the Sabbath and on which they should not work. So from this chapter we learn God's provision is not only just physical, but also it is spiritual. By manna, the physical provision, God supplied Israel's physical needs. Sabbath, the spiritual provision. God taught Israel to rest and to trust. Chapter 17, Exodus, water from the rock. The Israelites are again in distress, this time due to lack of water. They quarrel with Moses. Moses cries out to God. God instructs Moses to strike a rock with his staff from which water flows. Additionally, the Israelites fight the Amalekites and win with the help of God. So the miraculous provision of water and the victory of the Amalekites remind us of the power of obedience, prayer, and God's promises. In this chapter, we see Moses' staff represents God's authority and power. Meribah, Exodus 17:7, means testing or contention, highlighting Israel's doubt. Exodus chapter 18, we see Jethro's advice. Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, visits Moses and is amazed by what God has done for the Israelites. He offers sacrifices to God. Seeing that Moses is overwhelmed with settling disputes among the people, Jethro suggests appointing other trustworthy individuals to share the load, leaving only the most difficult cases to Moses. Jethro's visit represents a positive example of intergenerational mentorship, and Jethro becomes a spiritual advisor to Moses. Here we see healthy leadership involves recognizing limitations, empowering others through delegation, achieving shared goals, and preventing leads to success. And Moses shows the humility of Moses. He obeys to Jethro's commands and he does as Jethro advises. Exodus chapter 19, we see arrival at Mount Sinai. Israelites reach Mount Sinai where Moses ascends the mountain to speak with God. So God tells Moses that if the Israelites keep his covenant, they will be his treasured possession. Here there's a word which is very close to our heart. Chapter 19, verse 4. His word says, "You yourselves have seen what I did to the Egyptians and how I bore you on eagle's wings and brought you myself, says the Lord." This word is for each of us. God is saying He brought us out and He's taking care of us on the eagle's wings, just like a mother. We see the love of mother, the love of God by this verse. Moses conveys God's words to the people, and they agree to do as the Lord commands. They consecrate themselves and amid thunder and lightning. God descends upon Mount Sinai. Here we see awe-inspiring power of God's presence. We'll see chapter 20 and 21 tomorrow. We'll conclude with Exodus chapter 19, Keynotes. Questions for today.